All right, so guys, we have the finals. Ryan Severin on the left, playing Janemba Mill.
Yep.
And Eric Goodwin on the right, playing the best counter to Janemba Mill. Janemba Mill.
You say that, but Eric Goodwin's version of the deck is very similar to what Trey Faircloth and I played at Nationals, and Ryan Severin's deck is closer to what Scott Dashy played at Nationals. So it's like the two different variants of Janemba that were played at Nationals in the top cut. These are basically the two versions squaring off. Ryan has been a longtime friend of mine for well over 10 years, and I'm pulling for him, but I really think that Eric's version is a lot stronger in the mirror. So hopefully I'm wrong.
Hopefully, I like how you said that as a question. Hopefully I'm wrong.
It's one of those things where it's I like both of the players, so
right.
I really don't want to show bias. So it's
Well, I don't have the statistics of every competitive event that's ever been played in Dragon Ball, but I think it's actually the number 1 versus the number 2 seed, which doesn't happen often. We'll say it that way.
Yeah, you always see the first seed get knocked out in the first round of top 8. That's like a given.
Yeah, I remember the first time I played a card game. I come from playing, video games professionally. So the first time I played a card game, I got into Top Cut.
Yeah.
And I won my first match in Top Cut. I was number 1 seed. I lost the second one, and they're like, "Cool, you're out." And I was like, "What do you mean? There's not like a loser bracket or like?"
Oh yeah.
They're like, "No, you're out." And I'm like, "I don't get this. This doesn't seem right. Something's wrong."
I don't get a chance to reset the bracket.
Yeah, you know what I mean. There's no what do you mean?
Where's my run back?
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's one thing that's unfortunate about card games is, you can go, it actually happened at Nationals. We had Thomas Lemon go actually undefeated.
Yeah.
And then lose, I think it was his first or second round of Top Cut.
Yeah,
and it's just
right
you're
away.
out.
You're
it's you went undefeated in Swiss and you get no reward. This is
it's very funny you say that, because I always wondered that. I was like, where's my losers bracket? I'm so used to, coming from Smash, I'm so used to literally everything being double elimination.
Right.
And then when I started to take card games more seriously, no, we don't do that here. We do Swiss. What are pools? We do Swiss.
Oh yeah. Yeah, it was definitely very interesting. So, but yeah, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, I always wish that they could do, Swiss over pools for games like that, but it would take forever.
Oh yeah.
Because some of the events in the gaming world, they have thousands of
people. Yeah, I think didn't Evo like Dragon Ball Z Fighters or whatever, and Evo have 3,000 players or something.
Yeah, I was like, Swiss, you'd be there for a week.
Yeah, for literally 1 month.
Guys, I day 4.
Day 4. Guys, day 4. Is this the final match? It is.
This is in fact the finals. Yes.
It's the final countdown.
Yeah. This is a game where. Notice how both players, you can look at Ryan Severin's energy, and it tells you pretty much everything you need to know. Playing Boragos is awful. Drawing cards is bad in this matchup. The person who draws more cards, you literally under no circumstances want to draw cards, unless you absolutely have to.
Right.
In which case it's the leader swing. I have to draw a card to make him lose 2 cards.
Guys, don't forget too, while this is the last match of singles, this is the finals. The winner gets the freaking really cool looking Shenron statue. Don't forget, we do have a team event after this, which is currently going on. Do I think the Hill Twins will get their Orlando event? I don't know. I would say probably. I'd say there's a good chance they will be. But remember that there are a team event after this, which we will also be covering. Lord help us.
I love that line, by the way, for Eric. So, one of the big advantages Eric has is that his deck, in his 65, he has Furthering Destruction Champa, and taking Ryan from 5 to 3 makes it so it's not comfortable for him to be able to activate his leader negate. And since Eric's the first person to hit a Janemba, also that's a big advantage. This is a pretty good turn for Eric, for sure.
Okay.
He hits the first mill target, so the person who hits more Janembas obviously is just going to win because you're going to mill them out first.
Sure, it makes sense.
But every time you mill with a Janemba, you are putting a card back in your deck because they all go on the bottom of the deck.
Right, okay.
And it's also possible in this matchup to get unlucky and have your opponent have 3 or 4 cards in their deck and they just all happen to be the Janembas that have been there prior, and they hit a wall. So it's this really weird matchup. having Champa in your deck or like some aggressive finisher kind of allows you to just go past that and just kill them in the traditional sense. Normally, Janemba players, the Janemba mirrors, when they don't have that kind of like aggressive finisher, that's what ends up happening. It's like, well, I milled him, but not enough to like get past that like mountain of Janembas on the bottom of the deck, and he just kind of came back. I was like, I milled you 8 or 10 cards in one turn.
So I mean, so here's a question: if you are playing, if you're playing Borgoses to draw cards, obviously you said that was bad, which makes sense because you're essentially milling yourself for them.
Yeah.
But if you draw a card and it's a Demon Sword,
yeah,
is that worth the draw?
Maybe. It's like hard for me to like accurately. It depends on the match. Like you can take a couple of draws. Like Eric is intentionally taking draws here because he wants to be aggressive. He's either trying to find the Janembas or put Ryan in a really terrible spot. Like right now, if Ryan has to decide, do I negate this? Because if he doesn't negate this and Eric has Unyielding and Champa, the game's over. So Ryan's really just trying to decide, do I want to do this? Okay. I'm actually unsure. Did he just combo Figure of Majesty and nothing else?
Yeah, it looks like it, yeah.
Yeah, because you have to actually pitch a blue card for the Janemba leader effect. Yep, Kaya Time. Comes out of nowhere. Ryan's version does not play it.
Okay.
The version Scott plays, it doesn't have Overwhelm. Because it wants to always keep sparking live for Dimension Magic.
Oh, wow, he cobbled on the leader. He cobbled on the leader. That's weird.
Yeah. He's just trying to find ways to sneak through damage. And then Reality Bender at the end of the turn has to go to the bottom of your deck, then has to cause the multi-cards. Alright, so obviously Ryan is behind in the damage race, but I actually think he's ahead in the mill race.
Okay. Your first ever Atlantic City champion for 2019 is Jared Zimmerman. Congratulations. Over 150 players. He has triumphed to the top. Congratulations as the first Pro Play Tour champion. Enjoy that cash prize.
Cool. Well, the first ever Yu-Gi-Oh! Pro Play Tour champion was just crowned. I didn't catch the name.
Yeah. I know Ryan, if he was here right now, he's like, I really want to win.
Yes. We'll be streaming the theme event. Yes, sir.
Yes. All right.
At this event, it was 238. And then there was I forget how many teams, but it was 210 players for the team event.
It was 100% retention from...
Yeah, just about, yeah. It's
that's nuts.
Yeah, it's really good. There's I forget exactly. It's 6 rounds plus a top 8.
Yeah.
So, me and Pat can maybe leave here at midnight.
Yeah. So I have meetings tomorrow morning. Wow.
I thought it was 238 for Dragon Ball, but it might be less than that.
Eric just lost a lot of Dimension Magic somehow.
Oh, really?
Of all those mills, yeah. It's quite a number of them.
Wait, he can counter. Why can't he counter?
No sparking.
No sparking.
Oh, you are correct. So, should I?
Yeah.
Hold on. Gabriel is confirming that there were 5 cards in the deck.
Yeah.
The head judge is saying that there were 5 cards.
Yeah.
He showed them to me. So
Yeah,
it is correct.
Yeah, you can see the 5 cards there, and then you saw the Overwhelm card after the 5 cards. I mean, not Overwhelm card. You saw the 5 cards, and then you saw the Dimension Magic.
Okay,
so.
yes.
Yeah, you can.
So as you say, he was confirming it. That's a blessing and a curse right there. Ryan Severin had to mill 2 super combos.
Right.
Which is like in any other matchup, you're like, no. But in this matchup, you're like, oh, thank goodness, because the draw is mandatory.
Guys, he didn't only have 1 card drop. He literally just showed you.
I mean, even if that were true, we verified it with the head judge. Head judge said there was 5 cards. Head judge's ruling is final.
Right. All right.
Okay. This is a familiar situation in Janemba mirrors. Both players have just the childish heart, so that way they can get whatever version of Janemba they need. Because again, it's like you're rejuvenating one, but also taking 2 away from your opponent.
Right.
Ryan just found another childish heart. That's actually pretty sweet. Sensi being on Eric's leader here, it was just really awkward because Childish Heart Janemba is 19,000 power. Just 1,000 shy of being able to actually damage without having to pay a card. Sometimes I wonder if they do that on purpose. I'm just going to opt to just go immediately for the Childish Heart, put the Childish Heart back in your deck, get Demon Sword. Childish Heart obviously has barrier, so it's literally just going to be, I'm going to try and take a stab at your life. Has to be careful, though, because one of the other things you can do in this matchup is attempt to Mafuba an aggressive swing from one of the Janembas.
Sure, yep.
Because it delays the mill.
Right, it delays the mill, absolutely.
Ryan respects it.
Please call for a judge.
Reality Bender. It's actually really, really strong. And I think if I'm Ryan here, I think you just pass here. No reason again to put Janemba at risk with Mafuba.
Right.
His hand is very defense oriented. A lot of pseudo super combos. A lot of Mafubas. The rest of his hand just appears to be just all Janemba cards. Which in this matchup is a really strong position to be in. He's just weighing his options carefully, taking his time. I know hard for Connecticut when he was in the finals previously, he kind of rushed through his moves a little bit.
Ooh, there's the Mafuba.
Yeah. He's really trying to weigh it. That's actually really smart. So now since Ryan no longer controls a battle card, he gets to play a second Reality Bender from his hand.
Because it's not a battle card anymore with Mafuba.
Correct. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, Mafuba comes off during the end phase at the same timing as Reality Bender, so I'm pretty sure you can choose to remove the Mafuba and then also resolve your Reality Bender.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure about that, actually.
That's something I have to see with the judge, but I know that they're in the same phase.
Right. I think you probably order them your way, right?
Yeah, because you're the active player, so you choose how effects resolve. That's like a really interesting way for Ryan to just kind of sneak in, like it's like being energy efficient. Where like I've snuck in an extra 2 mil, it's just delayed. It's like a suspended mill. Ryan playing defense is, I think, much scarier for him than Eric, because, again, Eric knows Ryan's deck list, knows...
Right.
Whereas Eric, every attack from Eric is potential lethal.
Which is huge. It's actually kind of funny. I mean, while mill decks, are very defensive in nature, they usually they don't have to win by damage. They can, they will eventually win.
Yeah.
It's kind of cool to see Eric making his a little bit more offensive. That's kind of neat.
Yeah, it's like it's a two-pronged attack. So normally most players win the game through just taking all of your life cards. When you think of mill, you're like, well, if they don't have any cards in their deck, I just win automatically. But so both those are the two different win cons. But Janemba is in the unique position, obviously, not only being the only mill leader,
right,
but he's the only one that can actually do both. So I feel like players get too fixated on one strategy. It's just like, if I just live, I'll mill you. Whereas, if you take a slightly more offensive approach, you can just go, okay, I have the option to do whatever I want to you.
Okay. Yeah, Tofu Survivor, this is the finals. Actually, number 1 versus number 2, which doesn't happen very often, actually, in the finals.
I think Ryan has, or not Ryan, Eric, I believe Eric, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was 7, probably it's like 7 or 8 cards in his deck still.
Yeah, I can't quite tell.
From the camera angle, it's quite difficult to see how many cards are in 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So about 9. The Eric's, I believe, like I said, 7 or 8. Both players have a lot of Janembas on the bottom of the deck,
absolutely.
as I told you. You don't want to accidentally, you need to be smart about this. You can't just overmill or undermill. You need to hit the sweet spot, because we know through perfect knowledge that Ryan's probably going to mill 6 cards in this turn.
Yeah, actually, what's really cool too is when you make your deck a little bit more aggressive like this, you kind of force your opponent to have to use super combos and
correct.
And that makes you're essentially milling them when that happens.
Against the storm decks, they draw so many cards inherently from go-tens and whatnot, and if you put them on the back foot where they have to defend their own life total for once, then they're going to have to super combo to defend their life, which actually ends up killing them.
Right.
And if they don't, they're spending non-super combos, which means they don't have a hand, which means they can't do anything anyway. Which means the only way to refill it is the super combo, which kills you faster.
Well, attacking with
unyielding.
So pretty telling.
That's bait. Going to Sparking. Obviously, Eric Goodwin, mono blue deck, no battering laser. Fishing for a kill, passes the turn back. Eric knows he's going to mill me for quite a lot of cards. Depending on how many he can sequence here, Ryan might actually be able to get a lot of mill. If he has a Reality Bender in his hand, that's going to be devastating.
Well, it's 4 for sure.
Yeah, it's 4 for sure. If he has Reality Bender in his hand, then that's 8. Which would mean the only way that Eric Goodwin wouldn't just automatically lose the game on the spot would be to have 10 cards in his deck. See how it's just a mass of Janembas?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure every card that Eric will be milling for the rest of the game is a Janemba.
Just Janembas.
Ryan being conscious of how many cards are in his deck.
Looks like Ryan has 2 more milled cards in hand.
Potentially. So he has to put this... Yeah, so he's going to do that. He has a Childish Art in hand. but
He needs
not
an
enough
energy.
to activate.
Right.
Yeah, not enough to activate. He can cast it, but he doesn't have enough energy to activate.
Right.
He's going to pass turn, chooses to let Midfuba resolve, then chooses to let Reality Bender resolve. Gabriel, I believe, is checking the roll. They are trying to verify the rolling.
Yeah, which I'm pretty confident this is how this works. I mean,
I would agree. I believe that is how it has worked. In the past, I know, I don't know about at large-scale events, but at many locals at many different shops that I have been to, that's always been the interaction. Has been active player has the option to resolve effects how they choose.
right.
Janemba is not a battle card when you're during the end step, but you choose to take Mafuba off of it first. Janemba is a battle card. Since you are in the end step, you send it to the bottom of your deck and mill 2 cards.
I will say, though, whenever I say if you can post the ruling and your response is, what's the point? That doesn't hold very much water to your argument. I'm going to be honest with you. It seems like it's pretty bad at that point. Oh, Dusty, I can't. I will get banned. Oh, okay, I see. That makes sense. Sounds like you just can't because you don't have it.
Barrier blocker in from Eric Goodwin from the board. Just wonder if it was trying to be the best in his main. I have no idea. Both of his Eric Goodwin's.
I don't think that that the Goku was in Ryan's main, was it?
No, I don't believe so. I'm actually curious why bring it in. He must know something with Eric's list. Really curious as to why Ryan wasn't trying to aggressively put the Gohan on board. I believe there's only 2 Gohans in Ryan's board. Couple of Janemba pieces milled from Ryan here. Just like the first game, kind of really rapid fire pace through the first 4 turns because both players don't really have a lot of action until turn 4.
Well, actually, both players they put in the. It looks like because Eric doesn't have the Goku main board either, does he?
I don't believe so. I said both of them. Like,
I wonder why. Like, is there?
perhaps something. Eric respecting the Mafuba. Couple of negates, and Goku's trying to be the best milled. Like I said, blistering pace through these first 4 turns since both players don't really have a lot of action or things that they want to do in the first couple of turns. Yeah, Jirobe's charged from Ryan. I assume those. I know those are main boarded. Not a lot of things you can really do with it because Demon Sword just eats it alive. Reality Bender doesn't need to swing to get advantage. So.
Right. Is double sleeving allowed in these big events? It's up to the head judge. Is the best way to put it. Normally, yes. There's very few circumstances where they're not allowed, but
Eric Goodwin motioning to his drop violently, letting everybody know he does in fact have 5 for sparking.
Eric Goodwin, the hero.
Eric's a funny guy.
Yeah, are you sure that's there, though? It might not be, though. I don't know. Probably not, though.
Wow. Ryan hits double dimension magic as his mill from his leader attack.
No big deal.
Eric is just... There's always this random element to, getting hit by Janemba's mill cards that introduces, like, sometimes you just you don't have any ways to win the game or like stay in the game because they just accidentally happen to come off the top of your deck.
Right.
If I'm Eric, I'll be like, I just used one, and then I get penalized and add two extra, so I only have one more in the deck. So it feels like Eric has lost more of his defensive options from the mill. Ryan has lost more Janemba pieces.
Which is more important? Is it like even? Is it which one's more?
For Eric's deck, it's more important to have the Janemba pieces not be milled. For
Right.
Ryan's deck, it's more important to not have the like. So it's kind of like flipped. For Ryan, would rather see his I think Janemba pieces. All right, so here's what the same play as last game. Eric Goodwin trying to take Ryan from 5 to 3. It's a lot of cards drawn. Eric Goodwin has a lot of cantrips still in his deck.
Yeah, he does. He does. Ryan down to 3 life.
I personally like playing cards like the
Freaking
one-drop Black Master.
Vegeta!
Yep. He's gonna try and kill him right now. See, he's not awakened.
I know. Holy
you need
crap.
To have this, you need to have it. He's saying, hey, you got to have Dimension Magic.
Right. He definitely does, yeah.
Or you lose right now.
That was actually sick.
Yeah. Well, I believe Ryan's version doesn't play it. Eric's version does have it, obviously. It's just another threat to add to it. We talk about there's dual ways to win the game. Your opponent's so preoccupied with defending their life, or trying to keep their win cons intact, or dig for an answer that they overspend, thinking, oh, he's just going to mill me, he's not going to kill me. And then Vegeta comes out of nowhere and just kind of punches you in the face.
Right.
Ryan with his own
players, that is time in the round. Yu-Gi-Oh! 1K players, it is time in the round.
I'm wondering if Ryan actually mainboarded the Vegeta, because we haven't seen it in his previous
finish
matches.
the current phase and wrap up your match slip. Once again, Yu-Gi-Oh! Players, that is time in the round. Dragon Ball Super players, round 3 pairings have been posted. Dragon Ball Super players, round 3 has been posted.
Yeah, guys, I mean, there's nothing we can do, guys. Sorry. I mean, we're not judges. Me and Pat are not allowed to do anything about it, guys. It's as frustrating to us as it is to you guys. So, sorry. It's way too late. By the time we walk down there and tell them what happened, it's too late to repair. There's nothing we can do. All right, Ryan attacking in with Vegeta here.
Eric, trying to figure out which negate which defensive option do I want to take here. Okay, so that is the last Dimension Magic out of Eric Goodwin. So he has none. So Ryan knows what he sees is what he gets with the energy, unless Eric has I think he has a 1 or 2 of button in the deck. Mafuba. Reality. Second Mafuba? Dimension Magic out of Ryan Severin.
That's wrong for him.
Again, keep in mind, Eric Goodwin has Furthering Destruction Champa in his deck. Ryan doesn't know if he has it or not. So letting any number of attacks through could potentially be lethal. So depending on if Eric is actually up, see there's the Champa right there.
Right there.
So by letting that through, Eric he's going to just hit him with everything. Ryan Severin has a huge hand.
You think he can get himself out of this?
I think he can get him out. He has at least 2 Sensi Beans and at least 3 super combos. I think Ryan's actually going to be able to block this. I just can't see what's in Eric's hand. The player on the right for us is much more difficult to discern their hand. 35, 45, 55, 60. The thing is, though, by forcing this, Ryan's going to have to draw a lot of cards. So he's actually milling himself.
Very true. Here goes the first super combo.
Ooh, drew a Gohan.
That's pretty good.
So there we go. We have 35. comes Gohan's Great Saiyaman number 4. Yep. Oh, no. Or number 3, sorry. Double Beam, which takes the potential Demon Sword play off the table for like potential free damage. Double Gohan. One stamped, one not stamped. So not only does he block it, Ryan generates a huge board.
Welcome to round 3 of Team Wars. You may begin.
All right, guys, we are back.
Yeah. So plays Supreme Kai of Time, Light's Guide. This time, no need to worry about sparking since we know Eric Goodwin has no more Dimension Magics in his entire deck.
It's his entire deck.
Yeah. They've all been milled or used. Mafuba is the Supreme Kai. Ryan is just like, I'm going to kill you this next turn. Ryan's board is like the momentum from this turn like shifted entirely.
Right.
For Ryan, you just negate it. Your board is so huge. Gets rid of Vegeta as it's the most difficult one to block. Eric Goodwin passes the turn, mills 2 more copies. Ryan gets more Janembas, man. Eric has been hitting all of his Janembas.
Double Mafubo on his guys here. That's pretty freaking frustrating.
Mm-hmm. So Ryan is very behind in the deck race, but I feel like when it comes to life race, even though it says 2-2 on your screen, I feel like Ryan is severely advantaged. Even though he has the board, though, I'm looking at his hand. It's just pure defense.
Just all it is.
Yeah, it's all defense. Unless he wants to play a Boragos. Which...
I'm surprised he doesn't sideboard those out.
Oh, yeah, I'm going to... Yeah, me too. I anticipated, because I saw that Raging Spirits on Gohan was going in, I anticipated Boragos coming out.
Right, for that, yeah.
So, Ryan probably has, I would guess, sub 10 cards in his deck. Finds Yajirobe. Eric's hand is pretty depleted, though. I think you want to start putting some power behind these. 3, 4, 5, 6. Ryan has 6 cards in deck. So Ryan needs to actually just try to kill them. You might actually be hard casting these Boragos. This be funny if me myself, a Janemba player, saying, hey, I don't like those in the matchup, but they might actually be relevant. They might be relevant attackers that draw a relevant amount of cards. So Eric Goodwin goes to 1. Janemba. Is this lethal? This is lethal. So he's betting it all on this. Betting that his hand is not that good. So this is for the tournament. 20, 30. Got it.
There we go.
There you go.
Okay.
Ryan Severin is your champion of the first ever Pro Play Tour here in Atlantic City, New Jersey. Wow. That was crazy.